Hello and welcome to the spotlight on my touchscreen panel for my nuclear reactor. Yes, this is using the nuclear information reader to splash up all this information on the screen. Now if you just want to know basic commands on how to use the nuclear information reader, just follow the link now on your screen. It's a video which is much shorter and just about how to use the nuclear information reader itself. This is going to be going into my full program on how I made this touchscreen display. There's also links in the links in the description to the paste bin if you're going to if you want to use this yourself. The script's all there. So yes, check that out if this is something you would like to use. So just very quickly how it all works. It's pretty simple. You just turn the reactor on and off via the on-off button here in the top corner. Very easy. Here's just all the information coming out of the reactor or out of the nuclear information reader. So you've got if the reactor's on or off, you've got the reactor temperature, its current EU output, number of seconds left in the current cycle, and the shutdown temperature. That's adjustable here. Along the bottom here is a kind of progress bar for the temperature of the reactor. We see here reactor temp 0%. And as the bar fills up, it'll get up to 50, 100. There's also, you can adjust if you just click anywhere along that little progress bar at the bottom, you can set the maximum reactor temperature. There you go. So let's keep that really low for the moment. Cool, yeah, so that works. Basically the screen's just constantly getting information from the nuclear information nuclear information reader, and it's putting out commands to this guy, this computer here, just connected to the reactor. Actually, these two computers do talk a bit as well. I think this one keeps that one updated regularly on the temperature of the reactor, so it can shut it down if it gets too hot. Which I guess is probably something we may as well display now. So let's just set up a let's just set the max temperature down there, something really low, 400. Actually, can we set it at 200? Can't we? I think the smallest you can go is 200. There you go, yeah, 200. So we'll just take the coolant out of the reactor and we'll drop that guy in there and we'll turn it on. Here we go. So the heat's going to start rising. Oh, there we go. We're already hit at 224 degrees. So it will go a little bit over the shutdown. I think that's just because the time the computers take to talk to each other, if it's heating up quite quickly, it is going to get a little hotter than the max temperature you set. But because we are now over the max temperature, we can't turn this back on. If we try to, it just goes, nah, it's overheating. So after that, either cool down your reactor or set a higher max temp. So let's just jump it up to, actually that'll be 6400. Yep, cool. Turn it on again, and now that will go again until it's hit 400, which it did quite quickly. And again, we can't turn it back on. Overheating. Cool. All right, so that's how that works. That's pretty much most of the things that it does. Let's get that out of there and surround this with cooling so it doesn't accidentally blow up while I'm making the video. Cool. So let's go into how this works. So if you're going to be using the paste bin files, here's just the quick stuff that you need to know. So let's go kill the program on each of these, and you're going to want the IDs of each of your computers. It's also a good idea to name your computers using the label set computer name command. That I had in for kind of debugging purposes. I'll have to get rid of that. I'll do that before I put it up on paste bin, so you don't get that on your monitor. Cool. So we've got computers 146, 147, 148. Now get your three computers, hook one of them up to the monitor, and then it's going to have the console program on it. This one's going to have the NIR or nuclear information reader program on it, and this one's going to have the reactor program on it. So dump those on your computers, whether you put them on a disk or just copy it or give it to your server admin, ask him to put that on 3 different computers. And what you'll have to do is you'll have to rename the script, which is just or just go copy like say on this one, copy console startup, and we'll just go edit startup. So you're gonna have to then edit the file, and the stuff here you can see. So this is set monitor position here. I'm going to leave these little things in. I will get rid of, don't worry about that, that won't be there. I forgot to clean up a few bits of code before making the video, but but just follow these. So set monitor position. So if the monitor's on top, set top. If it's below the computer, bottom. You get the idea. On this one, reactor com. So just you got to put the ID of the reactor computer. So that computer connected to my reactor is 148. So you just got to put that number in. So it might just be 2 or 12 or 500, who knows. Just put that ID in there. Same one on this one, you just got to put that in. You're also going to have to set, and I'm just remembering this now, where is it? Rednet, we've got open, oh, rednet.open. I might just put that in. This is something you will have to do as well. Set modem position. So if your modem's on the back of the computer, that's where you want that. Cool. So we'll just save. Yep. Cool. Exit. Cool. We'll kick that guy up again. Now, also getting this, because this is now displaying some weird information because I think that computer's not working and everything's a little confused. You kind of want to start these all up at the same time. So on this one, it's a very similar thing. You just gotta go edit startup and set your modem position, set the position of the near, we'll just follow those, enter the ID of the reactor computer, enter the ID of the computer attached to the monitor. So that's easy. Startup. And then just with this guy as well, just pretty much the same deal, just follow these, set the monitor side. Oh yeah, so if you do want, with this one you got the option, just in case your reactor's ages away from the screen, you just made this little thing, it'll just display the current temperature of the reactor and whether it's on or off. It's off at the moment, so I have no idea why it's saying it's on. Okay, I might fix that as well before I post the code. But yeah, the main thing is just put in, so it's, you know, where your modem is, that's a rednet, where your monitor is, if you've got one. If you don't, that's fine. And the IDs for the you know, the console and the nuclear information reader. Cool. So let's kick that off. Start up. Cool. Now this should all, is this all working? I think this is all just working. Cool. Yep. So it's on. Oh, I gotta fix that up. Anyway. Yeah, so if you ever have any problems, sometimes, because this relies on a lot of rednet messages going to each other, if you start them up in a weird order or something, it can get out of sync, but it's not a huge deal. Now, a couple of other cool features I have built into this. It's also been made so we can say we set our reactor temperature there, and we turn the reactor on. Cool. And now, if we log out, now, because it all relies on like redstone signals and stuff, the computer program, when you start up, when a chunk loads or whatever, by default, computers aren't going to be putting out a redstone signal. So I made the program so it will save the state of the how everything was when you left. So it's going to remember the shutdown temperature you set, and it's going to remember if the reactor was on or off. So that's good if you know, if server restarts or whatever. And you're not there, turn it back on and set the shutdown temperature manually yourself. Cool, so those are all the features. I'll just go quickly into how the scripts work. They're pretty big, so I won't make a huge deal out of it. I think this one itself is well over 200 lines of code. But so up here, you've just got, you know, simple functions, opening up your rednet, that sort of thing. This function here is what writes up onto the big monitor there. I really don't think I'll go too much into that. Download the script and have a read through it if you like. It's just stuff like, you know, you just gotta set the position on the monitor, and you can get, I mean, where's the top one? There's a way to get, we got it here. Oh, look, you can get the dimensions of the monitor, which I have done, and that's written to like X and Y. And so you'll see a lot of using X minus 5, which will be 5 lines from the bottom of the screen, because X, yeah, is every line down. You get the idea. It's pretty simple stuff. And this bit here, it's just writing stuff up on the screen. So that 0, 50, 100 is 0, 50, 100. You get the gist. So that's all writing up onto the screen. I mean, that's pretty similar to what you can do on a normal computer, so it's not that interesting. This bit here is what remembers your that temperature we set, the shutdown temperature. So basically, when the program starts, first, like when it starts up, when the chunk loads or the server comes back up, or you load the save game, basically what it's doing is it's checking if a file called shutdown temp exists. If that's true, then it's going to open up that file in read mode, and we're going to assign shut temp the variable shut temp to file.read, so it's going to read the contents of whatever that file is. And we're going to close the file. And then, yeah, then we've got it. Sweet as. And if it doesn't exist, it's going to set a default shutdown temperature of 1000. So, yeah, there you go. Now, what else have we got? If it exists. Oh, this is the one to remember if the reactor was on or off, and it's basically the same deal, except it's got to send some commands out over the RedNet. Yeah, so that's all that is, opening files and stuff, and then just sending out to a reactor computer on or off, so whether it should be on or off. Easy peasy. Now, so that display function is that all that stuff we saw at the display at the top. And basically what this thing's going to be doing is it's going to be listening for events. So we're going to be listening for basically either RedNet events or touching the screen events. This seems to be the easiest way to do it. So here we go. If we get like heat from, I'm just wondering, I guess now it's probably, we might just jump over to the computer on the nuclear information reader at this point, just so you can see what it's spitting out. And this one's really simple, this program. So all it is so we've got all that stuff, a few you know, variables, whatnot. But here we're getting information off the card itself. So the card spits out 4 chunks of information off the nuclear information reader. And then from this bit here, so this information here isn't really that useful. It's just, yeah, it's just information like about the card itself. But this system status impairs info. So what we're doing is this 4th chunk of information we're getting off the card has all the information from the reactor basically, and it's got a table on it, so we got to do a for loop to get information off out of a table. It's the best way to do it. So we're getting status impairs info, and basically we're just going rednet.send system. So every time it does this loop, it goes through, it gets the first bit, the system, so that's going to be the system will be heat, and then we're sending that out, and then once we hear back from the console to say it's ready to get what the status of heat is, we're going to send it the status. So rednet.send status. So it would be like heat as the system and 1000 as the status. So that would be the actual heat. Or reactor powered B and true or false, which would be if the reactor's on or not. Cool. So, and basically it's just going through, if we get heat, then we're going to send it out to the reactor computer, just keep it updated constantly on the temperature of the reactor itself, so it can shut it down if it starts to get too hot. Then we're getting information off the second card, so near.get2. So that's near.get1, that's near.get2. Now if you're just using a normal nuclear information reader, it's only got 1 slot and the program will fuck out at this point. So delete this stuff, I guess, if you're only using one with 1 slot, and yeah, just pretty much get rid of all of that, I guess. But here we go. So that's just getting information from the second card, which is connected to the MFSU. Cool. And that's really all that program does, and it just keeps sending out that information. Cool. Alright, now, so we'll get that started up. So you can see it's sending that information out to the console from the, so that's what all this is. We're getting reactor powered B from the console computer. Max heat, and this is all the stuff that you get off the nuclear information reader. Cool, so that's pretty simple. I mean, there's a few other little bits and pieces in there, but it's not really worth going into. Now we're writing stuff up on the screen, so the reactor, if it's on, off, blah, blah. That's pretty much all this stuff is, just writing stuff up on the screen. And you gotta do some calculations, obviously, to get the percent of, you know, how much energy is in the MFSU to its max. So that's how you do all that. MFSU energy to, I think, EL's its max energy. So we divide that and we make it MFSU percent, then we times that by 100, and that gives you like its percent. We've got to floor the math. Math.floor just gets rid of like all the decimal points, and then we can just put that up there as whatever percent it is. Ooh, I'm sorry about that. Just got messaged on Facebook. I should have closed that. Cool, monitor.touch. Cool, so this is the event for if someone actually touches the monitor. And again, it's all kind of goes off positions of where you actually touch it. So this one's the power button here. So we're going, so if it's x minus 6, so on param 2 and is greater than 4, which basically means that top right corner. Then if the reactor's off, then we're going to tell the reactor to turn on. If it's the other way around, we're going to tell it to turn off. Pretty simple. And then we're just waiting for some stuff over the rednet, whatever. Oh yeah, and if it turns out the reactor's too hot, then we're going to print up that overheating message that you saw before. Cool. This is all stuff about just telling it what the maximum temperature is. So yeah, that's, you know, if you're pressing anywhere along the y-axis, if it's equal to y, which would basically be everything along the very bottom of the screen that you can see behind this screen, then we're setting the current position. So we're getting y and then adjustable temp param 2. Yeah, play around with monitors, they're fun. It's a lot of kind of math stuff like that. And that's really all that does, and that's pretty much it. So I've shown you the near. Have I shown you the program just on the reactor here? I don't think so. It's also very simple. It's just listening for stuff. So yep, cellular IDs and everything, and this one's just that when it starts up the first time, it's just gonna wait for the console to tell it. So like when the server restarts or whatever, it's gonna be waiting for a message from the console to tell it to turn on or to turn off. And just one thing though, if you do restart all these computers yourself or the first time you set them up, just tell it to turn on and off before you try adjusting the temperature. Otherwise it gets the wrong message here. It's one little thing which I couldn't quite figure out how the best way to do it was. And so this stuff is just setting its max temp. So if the current temperature is greater or equal to the maximum temperature which we set on the console, then it's going to tell the reactor to turn off. It's going to stop giving it the redstone signal to be on. Very simple. And what else? This is just getting information off the near. Oh, sorry, no, this bit's... Oh, sorry. Alright, this bit's just getting information from the near, so nuclear information reader will update it on the heat, and we're just going to set whatever it tells us to be the current... whatever it tells us the current temperature of the reactor is. And this one here is just the console telling it what to set the max temperature to. So if we say, you know, anywhere we click along the slider there at the bottom, this is how it updates this stuff. And it's all just messages out over the rednet and updating variables. Pretty simple. Cool. So, now I did, hold on, let's just start that up. Startup. Yes. Now I did have this set before. You couldn't actually set a temperature over 75%, but oh yeah, right. Let's start up. It's important that you have all the programs called startup if you're not familiar with Lua. Otherwise, if you don't have them called startup, they're not just going to automatically start when when the chunk loads or whatever, when the server restarts. Cool. So yeah, so you couldn't set the temperature over 75%. Whoops. Is that still going to work? Oh, okay. Here we go. So yeah, we're updating our temperature here. So I have changed that though, because I know people want to run reactors hot for like breeder reactors and stuff. So there it is, current temperature there. You can actually set it to, if you click there and you leave it there, ladies and gentlemen, your reactor is going to explode. In fact, I think if you get over about 8,000, that's probably about 7,800 is probably the max. If you set it there, things are going to catch on fire when it gets that hot. Yeah, I guess though, let's do that. Let's watch the progress bar fill up, and watch all this, see what happens when everything goes, catastrophically wrong. So we'll take that out of there. We'll just get some more sorry, what am I looking for? Plutonium? No, uranium. I could use plutonium, but anyway. We'll just go with some of these quad cells. And we'll just whack them all up in there. There we go. That should heat up pretty bloody quickly. Am I in creative mode? No, wow. Look at the steam coming off it. Oh, wow. So you can see the progress bar filling up very quickly here. Oh! Is it exploded? It exploded very quickly, I think. Yes. It's just struggling to keep up. it hasn't loaded it. But we can see little bits of debris. I guess that's my computer struggling to deal with everything that's going on. I think I'm going to find myself in a crater very soon. Anyway, guys, wow, there's the cards. I think we're probably having an internal server error actually at the moment. Anyway, guys, I hope that you enjoyed that. I'm sorry that there isn't a massive crater here. Maybe it'll catch up. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed it, and check out the paste bin. I hope that explained everything. If you've got any questions, just chuck them in the comments, and I will answer as best I can. Thanks so much for watching. Cheers, bye.